Got it. Hey YouTube, good evening everyone. I hope everyone is great, having a great Monday. And today we are talking about nonverbal communication. If you want to practice and develop your speaking skills, join with us in the immersions. You can schedule on the website, okay? So let's start with the question number one. Number two, actually, because number one, we already do. So, oh no, I forgot to present myself. Sorry, guys, I forgot about this. It's so important. So, my name is Elida. I am 22 years old. I live in Ceará. I work at the hospital nowadays. I live with my mom, and I have a dog. He's my love, my little baby. And I have been here on TNT practicing my English since the beginning of the pandemic. So, and I have been a host for 3 months, maybe 2 or 3 months. I love reading. I love playing volleyball. It's my favorite sport. I love sleep. It's my favorite thing to do too. And that's it. And about you, Dai?
Well, my name is Daiane. I'm 23 years old. I live in São Paulo, capital. I study psychology. I am in the last year of college. I also work as analyst in the human resources area. In my free time, I used to read. Nowadays, I don't have time to do that, but I used to like to read. I like to meet new places in my free time too. I like to spend some time here on TALKNTALK to practice my English. And that's it. And I've been joining TALKNTALK for, I don't know, 6 months, I guess, or something like that.
And in high school, I remember that I had sure that I will study psychology in the college.
Really?
Yes. During the 3 years of the high school, I knew it was a very sure in my life, but
Why did you change your mind?
oh really? I don't know. At the end of the high school, I just lost the interest. But nowadays, I still think about it, So
You
let's see.
still have time.
Yeah. And about you, Bruno?
Well, I am 29 years old. I live in Porto Alegre, Rio Grande do Sul, and I am trying to bring new, I don't know, trying to bring new informations to introduce myself, you know. And I really like to cook, and I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 months ago, I did. Um, I hurt myself with knife, trying to cook garlic and olive oil pasta, and I was peeling the garlic, and I don't know what happened. It's so fast. It was so fast, and I hurt myself, my fingertip, and I had 5 stitches, cinco pontos in my fingertip, and nowadays I have a little scar on my on my finger. But I am still trying to cook, still trying to do new recipes, new meals, and I don't know. I think that's it. Uh, that's it.
I have a deep admiration with people who likes to cook because I hate it. Really, I hate it. I
Me
prefer
too.
I prefer to wash 5 bathrooms than cook one lunch, you know. In my house, I always do the clean part, you know, never the kitchen part. Anyway, so guys, let's begin the subject. Question number 2. Some people prefer to talk in person because of nonverbal language. Do you pay attention to it? And are you this person who likes to prefer, or for you it's the same thing? You know, talking in virtual ways or for calling than to person. Bruno.
Well, I think it depends, because it, if it is a serious subject, and I don't know, for example, if you are arguing or fighting with someone in text, is really difficult to understand what the tone of voice, you know. How can I say, um, how can I say that? But maybe don't you do not are angry, uh, angry, angry, angry. Okay, angry, but people can understand you are, you know. So in this case, I prefer talk in person because it's easier.
Yeah, yeah. You die.
For me, it's different. I don't like this. I normally pay attention to it, to these non-verbal expressions and communications, but I don't like to pay attention on it, you know, so I prefer to talk online, even if it's like by video, so I can see people's face. Uh, because I don't like to speak, like to talk with people in person, you know, so every kind of online communication I prefer rather than interacting in person, because I always feel very distressed about it, you know, because I'm all the time like analyzing the person, and I'm like, oh, okay, why she's doing this or doing that, you know. So I don't know, it's complicated for me. I feel very distressed, so I prefer to just avoid that and keep communicating online, you know, just with the basic of the communication.
You are studying psychology, so it's not fair. It's not fair.
Exactly.
You look all the details, you know.
Exactly. Maybe that's the problem.
Yeah, I will say that. Oh my God. In my case, I prefer, of course, I prefer talking in person. Even I think I feel more nervous and anxious when I'm talking in person, but I feel that is more like the reality, you know, because when you are talking with someone by text, you can think, you can, you know, type and delete and type again. And for me, it's not the real, you know. And I can't just really I can't eu não consigo have arguing or a difficult conversation, especially about relationship, you know, like a fight, texting. I can't. I prefer to wait some days, 1 week, 2 weeks, to talk in person with the person, you know. And video calls, it's okay, but because you can see the face of the person, but I still prefer talking in person. I feel anxious, I feel nervous, I cry sometimes when I have difficult conversations, but I'm a very emotive person, but I prefer just because of that. You know, I really pay attention to the. I think we sometimes we say more with our body than with our mouth. Anyway, you understand me. And when I used to do therapy, some presential therapy, sometimes it happened to me. I was saying something, but my body language was saying the opposite. So the therapist said, Elda, are you sure about that? Because, like, are you comfortable? Example, I was talking about a problem in my, I don't know, relationship. And she asked me, but are you okay with that? And I say, yeah, but I was not. So she could realize it about my facial expression. So that's why I prefer to talking in person. That's it. But it's hard. It's really, really hard. Sometimes I want to hide and put my face in a, anyway, but that's it. Question number 3. How do facial expressions play a role in nonverbal communication? I think that's we can talk about if you are liking something, if you are liking the environment, the situation, but sometimes it's strange because we can be misunderstood, like, for example, it happens a lot to me when I'm I am concentrated doing something. My face usually keeps in a way that seems like I am angry, because I am totally neutral, I am not feeling angry or something like that. But my facial expressions, the people look at me and think, oh my God, she's very antipática, or she's angry, she's not liking to be here. But I am, in my mind, I am singing Mundo Bita. I am totally de boa with the situation, but my facial expression has this thing. And I sometimes I suffer a lot because I remember at the beginning of college, my colleagues didn't talk to me, didn't come to me to make friendship because they thought that I was feeling, angry, or that I was antipática. So, guys, I am not antipática, I am super cool, I think, but my face don't collaborate with that. So that's it. And you, Bruno?
Well, I think it's important, like you said, to understand what people thinking about it, because I don't know if if you're talking about something and people do a different movement with her their eyebrows, you can understand what he is thinking, or you can how can I say that, uh, it's easier to got it, so it's really really important, uh, non-verbal verbal communication. And you that can tell better than us.
No, but I totally agree with you guys. I think that is very important in a lot of ways. Sometimes we don't even need to say a word, because people know what we are thinking just with our non-verbal communication. And I was thinking about, like, for example, here in São Paulo, it's very dangerous, specifically for women, like in public transportation, for example. And I always feel that I don't need to say a word to express that I'm angry, for example, at the public transportation, because I use this technique, like, to keep an angry face or a non-friendly face in public transportation, just to avoid, like, contact with especially men, like that men that are trying to, like, interact or, like, say things that you don't want to hear or something like that, because it's very common. So this is a great example of how this is important. I don't need to say a word. I just need to, like, keep angry, like, with an angry face, and I think that they avoid to talk with me because I'm not friendly. I don't look friendly, at least. So I think that is very important in a lot of ways when we are talking, and of course when you're not talking to.
Just a quick comment. Last month, I guess, I went to São Paulo, and I was going to 25 de Março, and I was on a metro station, and I asked for someone if there is dangerous, and the guy don't say anything, but he take off his glasses and put her body to inclinou o corpo para frente, and I think, well, it's not good. it's dangerous, so I will take care. But like you said, it's really important.
That's true. Even when we are happy, right? If we just say, like, I'm happy, and I keep with this face, you will not believe me. But if I say I'm really happy and then I smile, you probably will believe me. So it's very important.
Yeah, I know when my mom wakes up, like, okay with life, and when she wakes up, we're angry, because I don't know of something, and I can realize at the time I see her if she's okay or not. And my colleagues of work too. I am always the person who arrives in the work at 7 a.m. saying good morning, people, and people hate me about it because they are good morning, Elida. And I, good morning, bom dia, o sol já nasceu lá na fazendinha. Yeah, sometimes people judge me. I know it's weird, but it's my jeitinho. Okay, let's do the question number 4. How can nonverbal communication be used in job interviews or business negotiations? Oh my God. Bruno.
Well, like we said, it's easier to notice what people thinking about what you talking about. So you can, I don't know how can I say it in English, but é mais fácil medir. Aqui no sul a gente fala medir a temperatura. You know,
You are muted.
Sorry. It's easier to notice that because you are vendo. Esqueci essa palavra. Sim, you are seeing.
Yeah, I think that the same strategy works very well, to know if the person is lying or something like that, or she or he really wants the job, or anyway. And I remember that when I did the interview to my actual job, I was very, very nervous. Really, I was, oh my God, dying, but I could. Nowadays, my boss says, and at the day the interview, the day of the interview, you looked so nice, so calm, and I was like, oh my God, I was freaking out. But I think I can disfarçar very well. So she thought that I was like totally okay with that, but I was not. So sometimes it can fail too. Anyway, and about you guys? I gotta go now. Okay.
Well, I agree with you. I think that it's very important too. But I have an example too about my job, because when I first started at my current job, I used to work with job interviews because I work in the recruitment area in HR. And it was so funny because sometimes we had like a panel with like, I don't know, 6 candidates, and we were evaluating them with the hiring manager, that is the manager of that position, that vacancy that we were doing. So it was so clear because in the first interaction that I had with the candidate, I knew for the first moment who was going to be approved. Because after that, I noticed that to be approved sometimes by the manager, you just need to like express that you are confident, you don't necessarily need to know everything, or you don't need to have done everything that you did. You just need to say like confident, like in a confident way, because it's so funny because this happened a lot, specifically with like junior positions, like interns, analysts, this kind of positions, this kind of people. And it was very funny. And after that, analyzing this situation, I noticed, like with a lot of other examples, that sometimes you just need to express that you know what you're doing, that you know what you are going to do, like in job interviews, for example, and feel that you are calm, like express that you are calm, not necessarily feel, as you mentioned, Elida, but express, like try to talk slowly, to the person, feel that you're calm, even when you're very, very anxious. Sometimes that's enough. So this non-verbal communication, like this neutral facial expression, sometimes is enough. And it's curious because I felt that in my job with this example. So it's very true and important.
Yes, I remember that. Sorry, Bruno.
No problem. Go ahead.
I remember that at the day before the interview, I watched some videos about it, and I was like, oh my God, I am going to prepare myself. And I remember that I put in the CV the English, right? The course of English, and I did a course of advanced English, but I don't know. I feel sometimes these people who interview the people are, I don't know. I think they think you are lying sometimes. The candidates put the ability of the knowledge, and they don't have actually. And I remember that the another person who is not my boss, she asked me, you put here in your CV advanced English, but you speak basic for this? And I was like, senhora, Senhora, I am fluent. Really? Oh my God. Yeah. And I was preparing to continue with the interview in English, but she said, okay, and continued in Portuguese too. But it's funny.
But do you use English at work?
No, yeah, I use it once when a patient came from Germany, and she 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 had a good like, it's not a good Portuguese, but we could understand her. And sometimes I remember that I had to give some informations in English to her, but it happened just once, and it's really rarely. It's rarely when someone from another country appears in the hospital. No, it's rarely.
Just another quick comment. You said about interview, and I did one interview, and the woman who te entrevistou, she was blind, and uh, I was talking. I was exciting, telling about my past, my career, and it's important because my tone of voice for her it's different, and I just feel comfortable with that because my mother-in-law is blind too, and for these people is important because they don't watching your expressions or body movements. So it's really important because the how how you telling about something, it's important, and it's a good experience. It's different.
It's a great example.
Yeah. So can we go to the next one? 5, right? How can individuals improve their nonverbal communication skills? I prepared this question, but I think I don't know the answer. I think it's practicing, how, like, for example, I have so many difficult to have difficult conversations when we are talking about emotional things, like having fight. I start to cry and I forgot the words. I can't express myself. I can't use the right words. So sometimes I say something that I wouldn't like to say, because of the anxiety and the nervous, but it's practicing. I used to avoid these situations in my life because I thought I am not able to have this conversation. I am not a good communicator, and my therapist said, and you will never be a good communicator if you don't talk, if you don't practice. So it's like the English, right? When I remember that in my first immersion, I was not able to finish a phrase in English, and now I'm here to talk to you, and it's practicing. And I realized that at the moment that I stopped to avoid this difficult moment, and I started to face, even with fear or anyway, but I developed a lot these skills. And yesterday I had one of these hard conversations, and I didn't cry. I got so proud of myself. And that's it. It worked a lot. I could express, I could tell to the person what I'm feeling, what I was feeling, and I didn't cry, and that's it. And about you, Bruno?
Well, I am not sure about that, but I think it's related about body awareness, you know, and yeah, I don't know. I think extrovert people have more facility to deal with that because people um, introvert people can be more difficult. I don't know because they think they think uh, they they think about being judging or I don't know. I think is is easier to extrovert people.
I was talking with the mic off. Go ahead, Dai.
I agree with you, Elida. I think that we can improve that with practice, and interacting with other individuals because that's the way we normally learn how to communicate, since we are child. So I think that it's a better way. But people can also practice teatro, some people say that can help, and also practice in the mirror, like in front of the mirror, like trying to simulate the expressions. I don't know, I think that can help too.
Oh, never. I I don't know. I have the habit of like pretending that I am talking with another person, but just in my mind, So I create a conversation, and in my mind, I am talking to another person, and I usually I do that every day, really every day. I don't know if there's a problem in my mind that it can't be quiet. My mind always have to do something, but I use this strategy when I want to have a difficult conversation. I always have this conversation before the actual conversation, or the real conversation in my mind. And I when I'm driving, I do this all the time when I am taking a shower, I talk to myself, and it's great. I recommend to everyone. uh, so everyone answered this question? Yeah. Question number 6. This is good. I want to know about you. Have you ever been misunderstood because of your body language or facial expression? Share with us how it happened. Dai.
I can't remember of one example, but I have the feeling that this already happened a lot, because I normally can't hide when I don't agree with someone, like when someone is saying something that I don't agree, or that I think that it's ridiculous, for example. I can't hide, so I normally be like, I agree, and my facial expression is like, like if I could, I would say a lot of things for you, but I can't, like. So I probably had a lot of misunderstandings because of that, uh, because people used to think that I agree, but in the end I didn't. But I can't remember one example. I don't know about you guys.
And you, Bruno?
Well, I don't remember a situation like that, so I will pass.
Okay, I have one. I I I I have a lot of situations about it because, as I said before, my face communicate something that I actually I don't I am not feeling sometimes. I have this problem, but I have one specific situation that I never forget. When I was in college, I started dating my boyfriend because I met him at the college. We used to study the same course and the same turma. So one day we're doing a paperwork. I don't know. I can't remember. It was a team work, and a woman. I don't know. Maybe I think she's 40, years or 35, and she was talking to her, and I was doing my job, my work with the face, how can I say, com a cara fechada. But I was totally okay. I was feeling okay. I can't remember of seeing her talking to him, but okay, I was doing my work, and after that, this woman told to my boyfriend to tell me that I should grow up because it's ugly to put a ugly face, a angry face because of jealous. She said your girlfriend is so jealous and it's weird, And when he told me that, I was like, Senhora, I didn't see this situation happening. I was concentrated in my job. I don't care about that. And it was so funny because she put in her mind that I was feeling jealous about her, about him anyway. And nowadays, when we saw her, we always laugh. Oh my God, laugh. Yeah, a lot about this because anyway, the person, people can think everyone she wants about us, but I really don't care. And anyway, it's weird. I don't know how to explain this in English, but what are you saying and what are you feeling to the person, but the way that she gets the message, we don't have control about it. So that's it. So in the past, I used to feel worry, and I used to go explain myself, to the person. But nowadays, I am just like, I don't care. Think wherever you want, and I will live my life na paz. But it happens a lot, especially in the work. Last week, I remember another one. Last week, I there was a elderly woman doing a lot of noise in the hospital because nobody want to schedule her exams anyway. And I said, man, sir, I don't know, come here, I will schedule for you. And she came to me and said, you don't have the right to be angry with me because I am in my right. I will, how, oh my God, I can't remember in English, but she said, eu vou reclamar, vou abrir uma ouvidoria. E eu, okay, go ahead, that's the number, okay. I don't care about that anymore because I will lose my mind if I worry about it. And anyway, working with public is anyway. So I think we have time for one more question. let me see. I think we can answer question number 8. How can cultural differences affect nonverbal communication? Bruno.
It's a tough question, but I don't know. There's gestures, different gestures, and it can bring misunderstanding too. And I don't know. I think that's it. I am not sure about this subject.
How about you, Dai? What do you think?
I think that it can affect a lot because we as Brazilians, we normally are very, like, I don't know the word, like, we normally express a lot what we are thinking or emotions. So I think that is different from some European people, for example, because they are more like neutral. So I think that when we interact with them, they think that is weird, our way of communication, because we are very open and we smile a lot, we like laugh a lot, and they are more closed, so it's different for both sides. But I think that it can happen a lot with the other cultures too. Like, I think that the Asian people, they are more close too, so they don't smile that much with with strangers, for example. But it's not the same for us, when we see like a foreigner, for example. We normally are like, oh, okay, you're from another country, that's so cool, and etc. So we are very like friendly. So I think that we have these differences, like not just with non-verbal communication, but I think that they can affect a lot when we are like interaction with other people like from another countries, because it's very different. I think that we are kind of unique, like people, we Brazilians.
Yeah, and even in Brazil, we have differences. I remember that when I went to São Paulo, here in Northeast, we have the habit to hug a lot and to talk, touching the people. Some people hate this, but we do this a lot. And I remember that when I went to São Paulo, I miss this. About arriving in a place and receiving a hug, or something like that. I don't know if it's just here that we have this habit to hug a lot. I don't know if that's me. I don't know, but I could realize that in São Paulo people are more keep in your place and I will stay in my place, and we don't have to touch each other. Okay.
That is very true.
Yeah. But I have a friend, he's Colombian, and he lived with me like for 1 month and a half. And I don't know really, he looks like North. How can I? Parece que ele nasceu aqui, because he have almost the same cultures of the Cearense people, and he oh my God, he adapted so well here in our culture. And I used to say that he's more Brazilian than Colombian. Anyway, so guys, we have 2 times. I think, yeah, our time is over. So I will put the survey here on the chat. Just a minute, I got the wrong link. Sorry. Let me copy again. it was a great conversation. I loved to be with you. It's always a pleasure being here, and you make my week better. So thank you for your presence here. I hope you have a great week and a great night of rest. Please answer the survey, the feedback, and give me suggestions about subjects to bring in the next meetings, because sometimes it's hard to think in new subjects. And that's it. Anyone wants to share something?
I would like to say that you can ask for ChatGPT to like a list of topics that you can bring for the next sessions. But
Yeah, I
that's
already tried, but it's, I don't know, it's superficial
Mhm.
subjects or so deep subjects, I could not find a balance, but I will continue searching. But that's it. Thank you a lot. And bye bye. Take care. See you next Monday.